Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Agriculture and GK. Myself Shivangi, and today we are going to discuss about the most important topic for the FSSAI exam, which is about the canning. So this is the most important food preservation techniques. It comes under the thermal food preservation technique, which is also known as canning. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about this only. What is the canning? What is the history about the canning? What is the procedure of canning? And how, what type of canning we can use in canning? And other than this, we also learn about the different spoilers which are seen basically in a canning. So let's start today's session. But before going to start, I want to share some information about our FSSAI exam course that we are providing for FSSAI exam. So if you are preparing for the same, so you can purchase this course in in this course we provide the full study material which is downloadable and in printable form. Other than this, we provide test series and wallpaper, and discussion group is also available. So if you are seriously want to crack your exam, so you can definitely purchase this course. So next information is about the Tamil Nadu Food Safety Officer exam. So we have launched another course for the Tamil Nadu Food Safety Officer exam. The course price is only 99, and in this course we provide full study material including 3 ebook, 1 question bank, one test series is also available, which is based on the obviously exam pattern. YouTube notes is also provided in this course, and previous year question is also given. So if you seriously want to crack your exam, so definitely you can purchase this course. It can be very helpful for your exam preparation. So without any further delay, let's start today's session. So basically, as we know, our topic is a canning. So before going to very deep in the canning, firstly, in any topic, before going too deep in any topic, we generally have some introduction about that topic. So let's start with the introduction. What is a canning? So what is the canning? So basically, canning is the method of preservation of food in which the food is processed and hermetically sealed in a container. So basically, in a canning, what we do in canning, we do that we blanch the food and then we put in the any can, and if it is a fruit, then we add some syrup. If it is a vegetable, then we add some brine solution, and after that we seal this container, and then uh, further processes like either sterilize, either pasteurize. So this is the normal generalized process of canning. So what is the canning? So basically, canning in a scientific term, in a basic in a formal language, canning is a method of preservation of food in which the food is processed and hermetically sealed in a container. Container can be metal glass, thermos, stable plastic, or multi-layer flexible pouch through agency of heat. Okay. Other than this, canning provides a shelf life typically range from 1 to 5 years, although under specific circumstances it can be much larger. Okay. So most other important feature about canning is if you can any food is canned, so the shelf life of food is automatically increases. It can be from 5 year or more than a 5 year. So it is a best and most convenient way to increase the shelf life of any product. Okay. Other than this, heating is the principal factor to destroy the microorganism, and the permanent sealing is to prevent reinfection. So most important thing in canning is two most important thing. One thing is that there is a use of heat. So heat is the principal factor which can destroy the microorganism or to inhibit the growth of microorganism. Other than this, we provide the seal in canning. So when seal is done on the can, it prevent the reinfection. Okay, because no other microorganism, no other hazardous, no other chemical, no other physical hazard is enter the can material, like because we properly seal the can. Okay, got it. Other than this, why we do the canning. What is the reason of doing the canning? So basically, the high percentage of water in most waste food make them very perishable. Like we know that if water activity of any food is increases, so the shelf life of the food is decreases. So so how we can expand the shelf life of food which have the higher water activity, like the mostly fruits and vegetables. So first thing first, the basically canning concept of canning is basically invented for the increase the shelf life and preserve the fruits and vegetables. Okay, so what we done? So basic reason of the canning is that high percentage of water in the most fresh food make them very perishable. Okay, so they spoil or lose the quality for several reasons. Like microorganisms live and multiply quickly on the surface of fresh food, and on the inside of this insect damage and disease food. Oxygen and enzyme are present through fresh food issue. Proper canning practice minimize the effect of these microorganisms. Okay. However, the main objective of canning is to preserve the food by the application of heat so that it can be safely eaten at a later time. Safety of the consumer is the primary concern when food is canned. So this is the basic reason about the canning, why we do canning. So we know what is canning, what is the reason of doing canning, but one thing is remain which is most important, that how it started, who invented the concept of canning, from where we want to do, like we need the importance of canning, when we need the importance of canning. So all these things are there. So let's start and let's gain some knowledge, some information about how it started. So basically, during the first year of Napoleon Wars, the French government offered a hefty cash award for 12,000 francs to any inventor who could devise a cheap and effective method of preserving large amount of food. The larger army of the period required increase the and regular supply of quality of food, because in the war we all know that in war many of the transportation and other things are very affected. So to supply the food in an army in a long way, we need some techniques which uh, keep the food safe for a longer period of time. So at that time, 12,000 French is a hefty cash award is offered by the French government uh, to someone who invent or who give the idea to how to increase the shelf life of the food, or how can we preserve the food from the longer time. So in 1809, Nicolas Appert, a French confectionery and brewers, observed that food cooked inside a jar did not spoil until the seal leaked, and developed a method of sealing food in a glass jar, which was referred as a appertization, and now we know it as a canning. So basically, who is the father of canning? So Nicolas Appert is the father of canning, and in 1809 he invented the concept of canning. Okay, so we all know we all know that initially it is known as the appertization, but now it is known as a canning, and it's clear now how to it started. So next term is about the food that are canned. What type of food is used in a canning process? So basically, there is a three category of food which are used in a canning, and which can be used in can. Okay, so low acid food, and high acid food. Three type of food are basically canned. So what is the low acid food? So low acid food belongs to the meat, fish, poultry, dairy, because its pH range from 5.0 to 6.8, and this large group commonly referred as the low acid food. Okay. Uh, Other than this acid group, so in acid group with pH value between 4.5 to 3.7, in this category, fruits such as pear, orange, apricot, these are all fall in this category. Now come to the high acid food. So high acid food, the pH of high acid food is 3.7 down to 2.3. So in this category, pickle product, fermented food product, jam and jelly are comes under this category. Okay, so here is the process of the canning, like how we do the canning, step by step procedure. So firstly, we select the our fruit, our vegetable, other our raw material in which we are doing canning. So firstly, selection is the first step. After selection, we are sorting the material, sorting and grading the fruits or the vegetable, other food which are going to can. And then after was the fruits or vegetable, then peeling and blanching. After that, can filling is done. uh, After can filling, syruping or brining is done according to the food commodity. The other After syruping and brining, we are done the leading, and after leading we are done the exhausting. After exhausting, we seal the containers, and then after washing and cooling done, and after that we are label the container and then kept in our storage. So this is the basic flow chart about the canning process. Here the processing step. Here we are going to deal in detail. So first step is selection. So in selection, for canning, fruits and vegetables should be absolutely fresh, and the fruit should be ripe but firm and evenly mature. Overripe fruit we cannot use in a canning. Okay, it should be free from all unslightly blameless in damage and malformation. Overripe fruit is generally infected with microorganisms and would yield a pack of poor quality. The vegetables should be tender and reasonably free from soil and dirt. Okay. Next step is sorting. So after the preliminary sorting, the fruits and vegetables are graded. The grading is done with the respect to size, color, etc. Generally done by hands or the grading machine, including screen grader, roller grader, rope or cable grader. Here is the mechanical grader which you can see in the picture. After that, we are doing the washing. So in washing, the graded fruits and vegetables are washed with the water in different ways, such as soaking or agitation in water, washing with cold or hot water spray, etc. Vegetable may preferably be soaked in a diluted solution of the potassium permanganate to disinfect them. Spray washing is the most efficient method. Okay. Uh, Next step is about peeling, coring and pitting. So peeling of fruits and vegetable can be done in a many way, by hand or by knife, by machine, by heat treatment known as scalding. So our fourth method, which is by lime solution. So in lime solution, what we do, dipping the fruits and vegetable in a solution of boiling caustic soda or lye solution of strength 1 to 2% for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Cores and pits in fruits are removed by hand or by machine. Okay. So here is the some example of the peelers, like mechanical peeler, hand peeler, and by machine and live peeler. Okay. So next step is blanching. So in blanching, treatment of fruits and vegetables with boiling water or steam for a short period followed by cooling prior to canning is called blanching. Blanching is done with the objective of basically loosening the skin of fruits and vegetables, eliminate the number of microorganisms, inactivate the enzyme, thus preventing the possibility of discoloration and improving the flavor by reducing the astringency in some food. So main reason behind the doing blanching is to inactivate the enzyme, thus preventing the possibility of discoloration and eliminate the number of microorganisms. This is the two most important reason of doing the blanching. Okay. Next step is the can filling. So in can filling, what we do, basically the can are washed and subjected to a steam jet remover by any dust or foreign matter. Before before filling the contents like fruits and vegetable, a small amount of syrup for fruit or brine for vegetable is poured in the can so as to provide a medium to the content. Okay, can filling can be done by machine or hand filling can be also employed. Basically, in common practice in India, filling by hand using rubber gloves in the common practice. So this is the can filling. Other than this, next step is syruping and brining. So brining, what is the syruping and brining? So basically the can are filled with a hot sugar syrup for fruits concentration is 35 to 40% and hot brine for vegetable concentration is 1 to 2%. Okay, the syrup or brine should be added to the can at a temperature of 79 degrees centigrade to 82 degrees centigrade, leaving a head space in the can so that when the filling can is closed on the double sieving machine, the head space left inside range from 0.32 centimeter to 0.4 centimeter. So this much is head space is uh, uh, escape. Okay, so objective of this step is to improve the taste of the canned product and to fill up the inner interspace between fruits and vegetables. So the main reason about for doing the syruping and brining, basically it improve the taste as well, and it fill up the space between the fruits and vegetable. Okay. Next step is leading and clinching. So can, after being filled and covered loosely with the lid and passed through the exhausted box. So leading is now replaced by clinching, in which the lid is partially seamed to the can by a single frost roller action and double seamer. After that, next step is exhausting. So in by exhausting, risk of corrosion of tin plate and pinholing during the storage and discoloration of the product is reduced as the oxidation process is prevented. Okay, so by exhausting we prevent the oxidation process. Cans are passed through a water at 82 to 87 degree C or a moving conveyor belt through a steam box. The time varies from 5 to 25 minutes on the nature of the substance. During exhausting, expelling of all the gas takes place which prevent spoilage of the can produced by seizing and chemical reaction and also the bulging of can. Then next step is about the sealing. So after exhausting, the can are sealed by a special closing machine known as the double seamer. They are hand operated as well as semi-automatic and fully automatic seamers. Next step is about processing and sterilization. So after doing the sealing, processing consists of heat treatment which is sufficient to eliminate the growth of spoilage causing microorganisms. So in this, all fruits can be satisfactorily processed at 100 degrees centigrade and vegetable at 100, 160 to 120 degree centigrade. So total time required to sterilize canned food is largely depend upon the size of can, what is the size of can, what is the nature of the product. So according to the nature we decide the processing temperature and rate of heat penetration at the center of the can and the pH of food and the type and number of the organism that is present in the food. Next step is washing and cooling. So after the can are closed, they pass through a detergent spray washer to remove grease and the other material. The washing should consist of hot water. The temperature of hot water is about 66 degrees centigrade. Then by suitable pre-rinse detergent spray wash followed by a fresh warm water rinse 66 degrees centigrade, again the fresh warm water temperature. Immediately after processing, the can are cooling in a water to a temperature of 36 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade to avoid thermophilic spoilage or can rust. If the can are cooled much below 36 degrees centigrade, they may not dry thoroughly and rusting will result. If the cans are cased at temperature much over 42 degrees centigrade, thermophilic spoilage may occur. So, why we do in the range of 36 to 42 degrees centigrade. So, if you are done it below the 42 degrees centigrade, then there is a chances to for the thermophilic spoilage. And if you are do it below the 36 degrees centigrade, so they may cause the rusting. Okay, so we cannot do it more than 42 degrees centigrade, and we cannot keep it, for the cooling for the 36 degrees centigrade, below the 36 degrees centigrade. So reason behind this is doing 36 degrees centigrade and 42 degrees centigrade flexible temperature, because if we keep the temperature below 36 degrees centigrade, rusting may be caused, and if we keep the temperature above 42 degrees centigrade, so there is a chances to thermophilic spoilage. Okay. Next step is about labeling and storage. So after the completion of the canning process, the can are labeled, packaged and stored at the clean and dry place. Storage temperature of sterile canned meat products should not be above 21.1 degrees centigrade, because higher temperature marked accelerate deterioration during storage, thus limiting the shelf life. So next thing about the containers for canning. So what is the feature of container which we are using in canning? The container play a vital role in food canning. It must be capable of being hermetically sealed to prevent entry of microorganisms. It is impermeable to liquid and gas, including water and vapor. It maintains the state of biological stability that was induced by the thermal process alone in a combination with other chemical and physical process. Next thing, it is physically protect the content against damage during transportation, storage and distribution. What is the can material which is used for the canning? So for canning, the various material used are like tin, steel, plastic and glass container with metal closure. Although the wide variety of container for canned food, the metal one are preferred because it has a high conductivity of meat. It cannot easily be broken, being opaque, so any perishable bad effect of light on food stuff are avoided. Be able to withstand the stress imposed during thermal process and cooling, and it is be able to withstand a subsequent handling, which include transportation, storage and distribution. Next thing about the defect which is seen in the cans. So first thing about the swell. So bulging of both can end by positive internal pressure due to gas generated by microbial or chemical activity, either hard or soft swell. So we further read about the hard and soft swell, but what is the swell? So basically swell is caused by the internal gas which is generated by either microbial reaction, either chemical reaction. Okay. Next thing about the flipper. So what is the flipper? Flipper can a can with normal appearance, but one end flip out when the can is stuck against a solid object, but snap back to the normal under light pressure. So this stage is known as a flipper. Next thing about the springer. What is the springer? A can bursts from one end which is forced back into normal position, the opposite end blurs. So in springer we can see that one end is blurred, and we when we put the force to back into normal position, the opposite end going to blurred. So this stage is known as the springer. In flipper, there is bulging in scene, but when we apply the slight force, it come back into the normal position. Okay. Uh, Fourth is about the leakage. It is a perforated can, and fifth is about overfilled can. So has convex ink due to the overfilling and not regarded as spoiled. Because it is not spoiled, but when the can is overfilled, it is has convex ink. Okay. Now it's about the soft swell and hard swell. So what is the soft swell? The end are blurs due to the presence of gas in can, but end can be pushed inside with slight pressure. So in soft swell, the end is blurs, but when you put the slight pressure, it go back to the normal. And what is the hard swell? So hard swell is the stage where high gas pressure accumulated inside and can be blurred. It cannot be pushed inside manually. Due to the pressure, the end or side seam may be bulked or distort. A very high pressure may lead to bursting of can through seam or end. Okay. Next is about the breathers. What is the breather? This is the type of which has a minute leak allowing air movement into the can. It's about the breather. Next is about the sulfiding. What is the sulfiding? So this type of spoilage occur in low acid food, and causative organism involved in this is D-sulfotomaculum nigricans. Okay, so D-sulfomaculum nigricans is the main reason for sulfiding. In this spoilage cause decoloration inside the can, so pink to dark purple color, and hydrogen sulfide form as a result of breakdown of sulfur containing protein like liver, kidney by organism of Clostridium group like Clostridium nigricans, sulfur strinker. It is also known as a sulfur strinker, Clostridium nigricans, and with odor resemble like rotted egg. Black discoloration observed because of H2S reaction with steel base of tin which produce iron sulfide and may lead to pitting. So this is the sulfiding. Other than this, thermophilic anaerobic spoilage, which is also known as a TA spoilage. So this type of spoilage is caused by thermophilic anaerobes which are not able to produce hydrogen sulfide. Clostridium thermosaccharolyticum is the main organism involved in the produce acid and gas in food, so sour and cheesy smell in spoiled food. So in PA, spoilage a main microorganism which is involved in the Clostridium thermosaccharolyticum. Okay. Other than this, spoilage by non-spore formers. So presence of non-spore formers in can indicate post-processing contamination. Okay, the organisms which are not heat resistant are generally found. These organisms are more prominent: Micrococcus lactobacillus, Enterococcus streptococcus thermophilus, Leuconostoc mycobacterium. Presence of these organisms indicate leakage of container. Cooling water is one of the important source of contamination, and coliforms may also gain entry into the can through these leakages and spoil the can product. Okay. Spoiled by mesophilic spores. So Bacillus and Clostridium are involved in the type of spoilage, and characteristics of mesophilic spore forming spoilage can be like mesophilic Clostridium spoilage. So in mesophilic Clostridium spoilage, sugar fermenting produce butyric acid, involve Clostridium butyricum, and swelling of containers due to carbon dioxide and water. Petrificative species such as Clostridium sporens and Clostridium botulinum. These are the responsible for the putrefaction of the cans and decomposing protein and produce ammonia, indoles and H2S. So these all things done by the mesophilic Clostridium type. Now come to the mesophilic Bacillus type. So in mesophilic Bacillus type, Bacillus are mostly involved, and seafood, meat and milk are mostly affected by these spoilage. In this, Bacillus pollinexa and Bacillus marcinus are involved, and entry of organism through the leakage of can. Okay. Now come to the point which is about the spoilage by fungi. So in fungi we know that yeast and mold. So what is the spoilage by the yeast? So basically for yeast and their spores are not thermotolerant, so they are not found in properly heated cans. Their presence indicates faulty processing treatment or post-processing contamination through leakage. Fermentative yeast are most permanent, and they often produce carbon dioxide and cause swelling of cans. Occasionally, film yeast also show growth on the surface of the canned food product. Now about the mold. So Aspergillus and Penicillium are common mold found responsible in spoiling canned food. They can grow even at high sugar concentration level, and acidification during processing or storage prevent the growth of these molds. Some molds are resistant to normal heat treatment applied during processing, and it is generally found in homemade canned food where heating and sealing is not done under total aseptic condition. So this is all about the canning process. Hope you like the session. If you like the session, please like the video and subscribe our channel and share it with your friends. Thank you. Thank you for patiently listening us.